female folk singer is dead after she was attacked by a pair of coyotes.
What is the monkey doing? Tell me what the monkey...
He hit your face off!
We actually have a trainer in the water with one of our whales.
If I show weakness, if I retreat, I may be hurt, I may be killed.
Baby Azaria Chamberlain was taken by a dingo back in 1980.
Oh God, guys, I'm here. I'm so sorry I'm late. I'm 2 weeks late recording an episode. I'm later than your girlfriend's period. Congratulations, you're having a baby. Speaking of baby, I'm very sad right now because we just, my wife and I, like, God, that still sounds cool to say. My wife and I, we're actually off on our honeymoon. By the time you're hearing this, we will be on a plane, I believe, going to Aotearoa, New Zealand, and we've decided to put our little cat Birdie into a cat hotel, a cattery for the next 2 weeks, rather than paying for someone to come over and feed the cat. They're going to put her in a nice little cat hotel, but we just put her in a little basket and sent her on her way. And I will admit, my little my little heart welled up a little bit at the sight of that little shit finally leaving me be. No, I actually, I genuinely put her in the car, ran upstairs, and hit record. It has not been 2 minutes since I said goodbye, so I'm still feeling like very weirdly emotional. For some reason, even though the cat bites and scratches and yells at me at every opportunity, that's just how it goes, I think. So yeah, this will be the last episode for another 2 weeks. I'm sorry, there's been a 2 week gap, and then there'll be another 2 week gap. But yeah, going on my honeymoon. It's been a pretty intense 3 months, I guess, at work, and just in life. There's been a lot going on, so definitely going to take some downtime while I'm in New Zealand. Excitingly, though, we are going to a Kiwi, what do you call it, like a Kiwi park. We're going to see some Kiwis, hopefully a kakapo. I don't know if I've mentioned to you guys on pod before, but I play this, me and my wife play this board game called Wingspan. We just call it Bird Game. But we play Wingspan, and we would have to be in the top 1% of players worldwide for the physical version, because there's an online version too, which is used in competition, and those people are crazy. But like in terms of number of games played, we play every day pretty much, unless we cannot, and we play between 3 and 6 games every day. We've played because there's an app as well where you can do the scoring, but it also has some statistics in there. And I discovered that since the beginning of the year, because that's when I downloaded the app, was January 1st, because I played with some friends, we have played about 500 games each, just since the beginning of the year. That's a lot. Each game takes at least 20 minutes. Like it says on the box, it takes like 40 minutes or something like that. But we're pros, so we knock it out in 15 to 20. But the reason I bring it up is, you basically collect these bird cards. And yeah, we're two of the best birds in the game are from New Zealand. The Kiwi, which allows you to discard a bonus card to draw four. You discard one of your bonus cards to draw 4 new bonus cards, and of those 4, you get to keep 2, which is pretty good. And then the Kakapo is at the end of the game. You can just draw 4 and keep 1, I think it is. Yeah. Decent cards. I know that probably doesn't mean a lot to anyone who's listening, but it means a lot to me. So something a little bit different today. Like I said, there's been a lot going on. I haven't had a chance to work on a proper episode. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off with our Scratch of the Day, and then we're going to follow it up with a mystery surprise segment that will only be spoiled if you have read the title of this episode and you know what it's going to be. But if not, oh boy, you're in for a little treat. But let's start off with our Scratch of the Day. It's a real lions, tigers, and bears kind of story today, gang. Literally, we're talking about a lion, a tiger, and a bear attack all in one go. So, this first story is a developing story. This happened yesterday. It's from Australia, in Queensland, where I was only a few weeks ago. This is highly distressing news. It's all over the TV here in Australia. I know in America, you guys have got some floods happening in Texas, and definitely thoughts with you guys there. I hope everyone's safe. I have some friends from Texas, actually. I'm a bad person. I probably should have messaged them already, but I'll do that afterwards. No, but if there wasn't so much happening in Texas right now, potentially this would be on your TV screens as well, because a woman has lost her arm in a lion attack at a zoo in Australia, in Queensland. A woman has been hospitalised after being bitten by a lion at Darling Downs Zoo. Let's read what's happening here. This is ABC News reporting. Everyone's reporting it, but ABC News in Australia is probably my most trusted news service. Anyway, let's keep reading. A woman in her 50s has been airlifted to hospital with significant injuries after being bitten by a lion at a Queensland zoo. It is understood that the woman has lost her arm. In a statement, Darling Downs Zoo in Pilton in South Toowoomba said she had been attacked while watching keepers working in the carnivore precinct on Sunday morning. I'm recording this Monday morning, so this is about 24 hours ago. Quote, "This is something that she has done many, many times over the past 20 years, the zoo statement read. The zoo statement also reads, quote, "She is well versed in safety protocols around potentially dangerous animals." The zoo said the bite happened when an animal inexplicably grabbed her by one arm and caused, quote, "severe damage to it." They said the animal never left its enclosure and there was no risk at all to the staff member or members of the public. The zoo said the animal involved in the incident had not recently cubbed and would definitely not be put down or punished in any way. Emergency services were called to the zoo around 8:30 a.m, where the woman was assessed and subsequently transported to Brisbane's Princess Alexandra Hospital in a stable condition. The zoo, which is a 2-hour drive from Brisbane in Queensland, is home to several species of big cats, including lions, tigers, and leopards. An investigation is underway. The spokesperson from Workplace Health and Safety Queensland said their inspectors were on site and making inquiries. Darling Downs Zoo said it was working with police and Workplace Health and Safety to establish how the incident had occurred. They said full details would not be known until the woman could be interviewed. Quote, "We are extremely grateful to the QAS, the QPS, and the Life Flight for their prompt attendance and to all the people and organizations who have rallied around us with messages of support," they said. The zoo was closed on Sunday and will remain closed on Monday. It is expected to open tomorrow on Tuesday. So yeah, developing situation. We will need to hear from the woman herself. Really wild. When this happened, I had about 40 people messaging me saying, "Are you going to talk about it?" I'm like, "Yes, of course I'm going to talk about it. My God, what do you think this is?" I like, one of my favorite comedic images in this story, right, is the idea of the people, the nerds, let's just get that out of the way, the fucking dorks who work at the Workplace Health and Safety Department in Queensland. Like, they're what they would be used to, right, is going into an office building and being like, the monitors are, I don't know why they have American accents, but they're American nerds. Your monitor needs to be at least in eye-line, and you've got to have a little lumpy thing under your wrist for your mouse because you'll get a carpal tunnel. You make sure you lift with your back or lift with your legs and not your back, one of them. That's what I think they're used to. They're probably... Can you imagine the guy that gets to do the exciting job that day, gets to go, although it was on a Sunday, so that does suck. You have to go to work on Sunday, but yeah, has to go to the zoo and just fill out forms on like, yeah, a woman's arm was ripped off by a lion. I don't know what the paperwork looks like for that. Do they have that paperwork ready? Is that like, do they have all things that could happen in any workplace in Queensland? Is that ready to go? I don't know. I'm not an admin guy, even though a large part of my actual job does include admin. I'm just not very good at it, and I think that's a weakness on my part. I also don't know where the woman lost her arm. I was talking to this with Celia before. Like, my assumption is that she's lost her arm at the elbow, because that feels like the easiest part to rip off. Like, that's the weak spots, right? It's like the fingers, the wrist, the elbow, and then the shoulder. But I guess it just depends on where the lion got her. So we will absolutely do a follow-up on this one in the coming weeks. I hope. I mean, she's not okay. She's lost an arm. That's a fucking crazy thing to happen to you. And also, yeah, she was not. I heard a report, and maybe I'm wrong, that the woman who was attacked was not like a zoo employee. She was a family member of a zoo employee. But that's not mentioned in what I just read out. So maybe that's not confirmed. I had heard that she was not a member of the zoo staff. She was a family member. But then it said that she'd been well-versed for 20 years. So potentially I'm incorrect there. We're just going to have to leave it there and find out more in the future. But yeah, like, hope that she has a speedy recovery. She's apparently in a stable condition, so we might know more soon. Let's keep her in our thoughts and move on to the next third of our Lions, Tigers, and Bears special Scratch of the Day. We know there have been a lot of lion and elephant and leopard attacks in India. Human-wildlife conflict is sort of out of control in some parts of that country, but there has been a little bit of progress happening in a certain part of India recently. Again, as always, apologies for me trying to pronounce these Indian place names. They just have so many letters in them. But I guess that's what happens when you have a place with a lot of places. You have to use all the letters because otherwise everything sounds the same. But a man-eating tiger has been captured in Kalikavu. Ooh, nailed that. Thank you everyone. Kalikavu in Malappuram after a 2-month search. A 13-year-old tiger that killed a rubber tapper near Kalikavu in Malappuram has been captured after a 2-month search operation. Local protesters wanted its removal. A tiger that killed a 45-year-old rubber tapper near Kalikavu nearly 2 months ago was finally captured on Sunday morning, according to the Forest Department. It was caught in one of the multiple cages set up in the area as part of an intensive search operation. The tiger, identified earlier as a 13-year-old male from Silent Valley National Park, that's a place name I can easily pronounce, had eluded capture for weeks despite continuous efforts involving camera traps, thermal drones, and Kumki elephants. Wow. 3 rapid response teams had been deployed since May 15th following the fatal attack on Gafoor, a local rubber tapper who was dragged into the forest by the animal. However, the tiger's capture triggered tensions in the locality as large crowds of residents gathered to stop forest officials from removing the animal. Locals feared the tiger would be released back into the same area, posing further danger to the community. A standoff only ended after authorities assured them the tiger would not be released nearby. Forest Minister A.K. Sasindran confirmed that the tiger is currently in the Forest Department's custody. Quote, an expert-level consultation will be held to decide whether the tiger should be released deep into the forest or relocated to a wild animal shelter, he said. A senior forest official added that due to the tiger's age, around 13 years, the likelihood of releasing it back into the wild is admittedly low. The tiger was previously identified through camera trap footage set up following the May attack. The Forest Department's tracking operation was one of the most extensive in recent times, involving advanced surveillance and wildlife teams over a prolonged area. So we've talked basically every week. We could have a new story about an animal attack in India, usually leopards, tigers, and sometimes elephants as well. Oftentimes what happens is an animal attacks someone, the residents protest because the government does nothing, and then sometimes something happens. This is a rare piece of good news in this ongoing story that the tiger has been captured. At first, when I read that they were protesting its removal, I was a bit like, that kind of goes against everything we've heard. Usually they're protesting for more to be done. But what I think that they're protesting is like, hey, man, can you fucking kill that thing? I think that that's what you should do. I think you should fucking kill the big animal that kills us. That's what I think should happen. I'm speaking as one of them. I'm not going to do the accent, guys. I'm not going to do the accent. It's racist to do the accent. I will do a Canadian accent all day long. I'll do South African because I can be a white South African. See, that's so bad that I think I've even caused a bit of interference with the microphone. Oopie doopie. Can you guys hear? Okay, well, hopefully that goes away in its own time. Sorry about that. I'm not going to do the Indian accent. Wow, it's terrible. I hope you guys can't hear that, but if you can, Is it gone? I think I fixed it. Yay. Can you guys tell I'm enjoying my little soundboard? I really am. Okay. Oh, I haven't even talked to African Drum Circle today. Buddy, how do you think the Scratch of the Day is going so far? Okay, all right. Yeah, that's enough. Okay. So, yeah, good bit of bad... rare piece of good news. They've gotten rid of the tiger. The residents probably wanted it shot in the fucking face. I think that it would be good to not kill animals that are just doing their own thing. Kind of like how in Queensland they're not going to punish the lion at all, because lions ripping people's arms off is just kind of what lions do, and same with tigers. Unfortunately, two things happen. People tap rubber, and tigers eat people. Only one of those things is natural. And I'm going to tell you right now, the rubber tapping is not one of them. I don't even know what rubber tapping is. I assume it's some kind of like making rubber in a factory or like finding natural rubber. But there is a fun world where rubber tapping is like you nail little pieces of rubber to the bottom of your shoes and you do like a really bad like tap dance, because it's dull. It doesn't sound like anything. It sounds like this. It sounds like... that was actually a pretty good impression of what I think rubber tap dancing would be. Let's move on to our final story in our Scratch of the Day now. So this story was actually sent to me by Sigs. Sigs, not Sigs like cigarettes, but just a dude named Sigs on Instagram. Motorcyclist has been killed in a bear attack in Romania on a mountain road. This is a pretty wild story. So the motorcyclist has been mauled to death by a bear while he was on holiday, and he posted a selfie with one of the bears before the fatal attack. The tourist was an Italian named Omar Farangzin. That does not sound like a very Italian name, but I'm not passing judgment. Omar Farangzin had posted photos and video of a bear encounter while riding along Romania's famous, how do I say this, Transfaj Arsaran Road, the day before his death. Let's read this story. An Italian man who was mauled to death by a bear while on a motorcycling trip in Romania took selfies with the animals before the fatal attack. Omar Farangzin had posted photos and video of bear encounters while riding along Romania's famous road the day before his death. Romanian authorities said he got off his motorcycle and tried to feed a bear. Ooh, bad move. Local news outlets reported before it dragged him into a ravine. Later, authorities told Romanian news outlets that they found pictures and close-ups on his phone of a bear approaching him on his phone. Armand Chirulu, can't say that name, director of the Argus Forestry Directorate, told the Observer News, quote, "Can I do a Romanian accent? I don't think that's racist. I just don't know how to do it. He got off their motorcycle and offered their bear food." Yep, perfect. The Italian tourist phone was also found while containing some pictures prior to the attack, with the bear approaching, pictures close up. That was my, Romanian accent. Nailed it. The bear then attacked him, authorities said, dragging Mr. Zin into the forest while other motorcyclists at the scene called emergency services. Responders, including firefighters, forest authorities, and police, found the man's body, which had been dragged into a ravine by the bear. But they quickly realized they were also in danger. Dragos, oh, that's a great first name, Dragos Onia Argis from the Mountain Rescue told the news outlet, "The bear followed us the whole time. She was very agitated. She attacked us a few times too." The bear was later shot dead. The day before his death, Mr. Zin posted several close-up videos and photos of encounters with bears on the road. In one video, he rides past a bear on his motorcycle, commenting, "Look, a bear, how beautiful." Because he's Italian, remember? So that one's fine as well. As long as the accents stay on the European continent, I should be fine. Okay. In another clip, he watches a bear in the gravelled area, and as the bear turns to approach him, he says, "It's coming towards me." Italian media reports that Mr. Zin lived in the town of Samarate in the northern region of Lombardy. Milano Today reported that he worked at Malpensa Airport, and dozens of tributes flowed in on his social media page, many of whom said they would remember him for his smiling and kind personality. Nearly 30 people have been killed by bears in Romania over the past 2 decades, the Environmental Ministry has said. Sightings of bears are common, and local media regularly reports bear attacks on people and livestock. In 2024, Romania's parliament doubled the annual bear kill quota to 481 per year. I think we covered that story about a year ago. I remember that. The move was taken to control the size of the bear population and to remove the animals that had become accustomed to entering cities in search of food. It came just a week after a 19-year-old hiker died after she was attacked by a bear on a popular trail in the Carpathian Mountains. God, why can't I speak today? In central Romania. The teenager called emergency services as she was attacked. Just a few months prior, a 72-year-old Scottish tourist was mauled by a bear in Argus County after rolling down her car window to take a photo with the animal. Wildlife experts have said bear attacks have increased because of human behavior as the shrinking of animal habitats due to construction, logging, and climate change. There you go. I'm just reading the comments. One of the comments says, the article omits to say that it was a mother bear with 3 cubs in tow, and he took a selfie with one of the youngsters. Also, there are posters all over the place warning tourists not to feed the bear and to take food waste with them after picnics so they don't attract bears. So many people died unnecessarily and stupidly in various situations because they wanted to take the ultimate selfie. Now bears too. The bear was innocent. Mother bears are fiercely protective of their cubs. 3 cubs are orphaned and now taken away in captivity, if not already killed, for a selfie. Yeah, I totally agree, Lulu. You got to, don't take the photographs. That's what I think the Romanian officials say. Now we have to kill the bear because you took a photo of the bear cubs. I think my Romanian accent is the best thing in the world. What do you guys think? Oh, thank you for clapping. Okay, that's going to do it for our Scratch of the Day. Let's take a short break, and we'll be back with the rest of our episode. Go and do a wee. And we are back. As mentioned at the outset, we're going to do something a little bit different today. We've done this once before, but for a little bit of context for any new listeners, before I was a world-famous podcast with my hit show, Man Eaters. That was ironic, by the way. This is the show is struggling, honestly. It's on its last legs, truly. Before Man Eaters, I threw a bunch of stuff at the wall to see what would stick. And one of those things was an advice podcast. I was very inspired by my comedic idols, Jake and Amir, who ran a advice podcast for like 10 years called If I Were You. And what did I do? Well, I straight up copied them. That's right. Man Eaters was, I will say this, Man Eaters was an 100% original idea when I started it. But my advice show was absolutely bitten off from what they used to do. But I will say this, it was a lot of fun. So what we would do is we would get people emailing in. I'd find questions from all over the internet, and I would do my best to throw my 2 cents in and tell you how to resolve your issues. And I've decided that today, because I'm heading off on my honeymoon, would be a good time to throw another batch of advice at the wall, and you can lick it all up. So we're going to do Advice City 2.0 on the show. I actually went back to the old email, and I'm not going to I don't want to say the email because I don't want you guys to start sending shit in there, but I did go back to the old email and found some old emails that I never answered. Some that have come through since the show has been ended. The most recent one was like 2 years ago. I haven't done that show in like 6 or 7 years. Yes, so we're going to do that. But first, here's a real treat. Let's listen to the original theme song of Advice City, as written by my beautiful friend, Jemima, who I miss a lot and hope she's doing well.
Advice City gets down to the nitty-gritty. Advice City, fix your life. It's only $12.95. Just kidding, it's free.
It is free. Oh, very good, Jemimbo. Love your work. So, Going to read a couple of questions. We'll see how many we can get through. We will give fake names to these people to preserve their anonymity. I mean, a lot of these questions are from 4 years ago, so I'm assuming that you have resolved it and you haven't just been waiting for me to get to it on a different show entirely. So that would be a very weird way. If you were one of the people who sent these questions in and you are hearing this, good lord, like, thank you for following me around so much. Okay. We'll give them animal people related names to link it back into Man Eaters. This first one we're going to call Jim. We're going to call Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett, the famous naturalist and hunter. Jim Corbett writes, "Hello there." Jim was English, so we'll do an English accent. "Hello there. I've been having a weird time with my friendship group lately, and I'm starting to wonder if I'm the problem. I'm someone who really values alone time. Like, I genuinely need it to function. I've always been more introverted, and when life gets busy or stressful, I go into what I like to call hermit mode. I stop replying to group chats, I stop making plans, I even forget to open my messages. I'm not mad at anyone, I just feel overwhelmed and need to recharge. My friends used to joke about it, but now I think they're really annoyed. A few of them have made passive-aggressive comments like, hope we're still on your radar, or if you don't want to hang out, just fucking say so. It's making me feel like a bad friend, even though I do care about them, I just don't always have the energy to be social. Am I being selfish by not explaining myself more often, or should I be allowed to go off the grid with without everyone else taking it personally? Love from Jimmy Corby. Thank you for that. Well, okay. Clap for Jim Corbett. Very good. I, myself, this sounds very similar to what I do. I think I might go hermit mode sometimes. You guys probably have noticed it because I don't put an episode out for a week or two. That's just me going hermit mode. That's a great phrase, by the way. I like hermit mode. I think I'll be using that. Jim, I think you are not as unique as you think you are. I know a lot of people who do that. I think it's getting more and more socially acceptable to go hermit mode. Mental health and all that, like taking breaks from social media. I think that's becoming a lot more normalized, although you did write this. Let me check. 3.5 years ago. Okay, so yeah, maybe not when you wrote it. But yeah, it's far more normalized now. I do think there's nothing wrong with giving people a heads up, though. I think that's probably polite. I understand that it might not always feel natural to just text the group chat and say, hey guys, I'm going hermit mode. But it would help, you know. I have friends who have disappeared off my radar, who I'm like, do you like me anymore? Like, what? Did I do something wrong? And it's, you know, looking at it from the other perspective, it is hard because I don't know if they hate me or if they're just gone full hermit mode or not. Are they little crabs? Have they gone hermity? Very possible. I don't think you're weird. I think that, like, it maybe potentially you have a diagnosis that you could be exploring here. Maybe it's time to see a psychologist or like look into that, because you could have some kind of like ADHD or autism. I mean, I know everyone thinks they have autism, but that's because we all fucking do. Like, it's a spectrum, and I think we all pretty much sit on it somewhere. Yeah, like, you really potentially could look into a diagnosis. Maybe there's, medication. Like, burnout's a real thing. But if you're genuinely socially anxious, maybe it's not social anxiety. Maybe it's just anxiety. Maybe you just have anxiety. I have anxiety, or had anxiety. I haven't really noticed it for a long time. But I went into the doctor and was like, hey, I'm having like panic attacks, I think. And they gave me medication, and I took that, and I've been good. Again, you know, medicine's not always the best answer, but maybe look into it. Do a little bit of self-exploration. If you think that this is affecting your friendships, it might be good to seek some professional help. That's a question for you too, Jim, is like, when you say you're going hermit mode, how long do these hermit modes last? A week or two, I think, is fine. Have a little bit of a social media detox, you know, you don't reply to messages. But like, if you're doing it for months at a time, or like at least more than half the time, then yeah, like that's not hermit mode. That's just you. And when you go outside of hermit mode, you're in, what's the opposite of a hermit crab? I guess like a bearded dragon, I guess. You're in dragon mode. So yeah, that's my advice. I guess to answer your question, you're not the weird one. I don't think you're a problem. If possible, I think giving a little heads up, saying, FYI, gang, going full hermit for the next few weeks. Give him a timeline too, to imagine like when you're going to snap out of it. I have a friend who I actually don't think she'll mind me saying this because I don't think she's going to listen. Jemima, who sang the theme song. We caught up at the beginning of the year, like before New Year's. I haven't seen her since. We've spoken a couple times. She was meant to be coming to the wedding and didn't come. And I wasn't mad because I know that she's gone through a lot in the past. So I wanted to check in and basically just the text wall is just me bombarding this girl. If you didn't know the relationship previously, I would look like a big creep. But you know what's good is that she did eventually reply and say, look, hey, going through some stuff. Mental health isn't great. Love you lots, but I will probably be, incognito for a while. I'm like, I totally respect that. Every now and again, I'll send a message just to say, like, hope you're well, miss you. There's no pressure to reply. Just hope you're doing okay. I think that's important for you friends if they know that you are going through something to do that. But yeah, anyway, I think we're moving on to something other thing. Another bit of advice, yes, do some maybe get some therapy. Maybe go see a doctor or a psychologist or something just to find out if there is something that you can be doing to help limit your amount of time as a hermit. Okay, let's leave it there. Our next person, we're going to name this one Kenneth Anderson, another big cat hunter, and that's appropriate because the headline says, "My boyfriend hates my cat." Hey, Jimbo. Yeah, that's right. People on Advice used to call me Jimbo as well. I'm in a bit of a relationship pickle, and I would love your take. That's interesting. I used to call these people pickled people with pickles. I've been dating this guy for about 6 months. He's funny, smart, emotionally available, like really great, except for one thing. He really does not like my cat. At first, he said he was allergic, so I tried to be understanding. I'd vacuum more often, I keep my cat out of the bedroom, the whole deal. But now he's making little jabs like, quote, your cat is so clingy, or you treat him like a human child, or I don't get why people keep pets inside. It's not like my cat is a monster. He's chill, and he's old. He exists, and occasionally sits on a laptop. But the vibe is starting to feel hostile. I've had this cat since I was 19. We've lived in 4 apartments together. He's comforted me through 2 breakups and one of my depressive episodes. I'm not giving him up, but I'm also starting to dread the day my boyfriend says it's him or the cat. Is this the kind of issue that grows into resentment over time? Or am I reading too much into it because I'm protective? Love from Kenneth Anderson. Okay. Wow. Okay. I can relate very hard. I mean, I've never hated the cat. Let me make that clear at the outset. No matter how much I joke about it, I fucking love this little bastard. She's so cute. And she hates me, but that's okay. It's anything. I have the inverse relationship. The cat hates me, and my wife has to choose between me and the cat. No, yeah. This I would maybe, if you're not going to give the cat up, and he's not going to sack up and deal with it. 6 months is probably, you get to the point where the breakup's going to start to really hurt. Does that make sense? Any longer into a relation, I mean, this email came through years ago, so you could be married and the cat could be dead. So I'm just going to answer it as if the time hadn't shifted half a decade. Yeah, dating someone for 6 months, any longer than that, that's a real relationship. 6 months, it's still new, it's still fresh, it's still exciting, and it's not like, I wouldn't call a 6 month relationship serious unless it was, but no. So is he actually allergic? Because he said he was allergic, but now it's from the tone of your message. It seems like you don't actually believe him when he says he's allergic. Like you think he was lying. Yeah, he's old too. Then that's the other thing too. Maybe this guy just needs to be a little bit more patient, and the cat will die, and then you can get a new cat or a dog. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't. It seems like he just doesn't like pets at all. This is a quick one. I just think that you should break up with this guy. He sounds like a bit of a prick, to be honest. I was never a cat person before Birdie. I don't really consider myself like a cat guy. I'm still a dog person, 100%. The bane of my existence right now is that we live in an apartment where we can't have a dog. Or scratch that, we could have a dog, but Celia won't let us have a dog because she thinks it's cruel to have a dog in an apartment, which I don't necessarily fully disagree with, but I still want a puppy. So I'm definitely still a cat person. But cats are great, depending on the cat. Even though one might occasionally scratch you and make you bleed, this one doesn't seem to do that at all. He just exists and sits on laptops. So this dude really could have it a lot worse. Maybe he should come and live with my cat for a little bit, get that exposure, and then go back to your cat and be like, you know what, Argyle, I'm going to call him Argyle. Argyle's not so bad. That's a great name for a cat, by the way. If anyone wants to name a cat, Argyle is great. Argyle was also the name of a nightclub in Newcastle. I think it still is, Argyle House. And during, I think, 2020 or 2021, Argyle House was the epicenter for one of the largest super spreader events of the COVID pandemic in the world. Because for some reason they decided, nightclubbing was an essential service. I don't understand how paying $15 for a vodka cranberry and getting fingered in the toilet is a essential service, but when you're 18, I guess anything goes. All right, that's my advice. Break up with a dude or kill the cat. It doesn't matter. It's been 5 years. They're both probably dead. She could be dead too. I don't know. All right, next one. Let's name this person Steve. Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin writes, well, the headline is The Accidental Kiss. I like that a lot. Hi. No name, just hi. Okay, so I kissed my friend. Like, I really kissed her, and now I have no idea what to do. We've been close for a while, maybe a year or so, and there's always been a kind of flirty, joking around energy between us. I don't think too much of it, but at a party last weekend, we were both really tipsy, sitting outside away from the crowd, and I just ... kissed her. It wasn't some huge romantic moment. No music swelled, but it happened, and I fucking liked it. I liked it way more than I thought I would like it. She didn't freak out or pull away, but we kind of just laughed it off, and then she changed the subject. We've been texting a little bit since then, just normal stuff, but she hasn't brought it up, and I haven't either. I don't know if she feels anything, or if she's just confused, or if she's waiting for me to say something. I can't stop thinking about it. Not even just the kiss, but the possibility of more. Should I risk making things awkward by bringing it up, or just leave the drunk mistake category, leave it in the drunken mistake category and move on? Love from Steve. Okay, well, you clearly want more from this, and it's very difficult to move on if you know what I mean? Like, you can become real... How do I say this without making him sound like an incel? Like, when you want more, let's call it a relationship, because they're friends. A friendship is a relationship. When you want more from a relationship, that's fine. Like, that's not a bad thing. When the other person doesn't want more in a relationship and wants it to stay how it is, and you don't, that's where things get tricky. And my gut reaction is that's where this is. If she wanted more from this friendship, like a kissing buddy, she would have brought it up. How long has it been? It's too late. You should have gone in for the second kiss, pal. You should have brought it up earlier. You should have. Here's what I would do, right? I'm thinking back to my 20s, right? At a party with a friend, we're outside, we kiss. I'm getting a little turned on, actually. Oh my god! Sorry, don't clap at that boner. No, you kiss, and it's like, oh, that was silly. And then the next day, I would send them a kissing emoji or like a funny kissing GIF or something like that, and then open up the conversation that way. Or maybe me like, whoa, got a bit tipsy last night. You're a good kisser or something like that. But yeah, I think this guy like really likes this girl or guy. Does it say girl? It does say girl. He kissed her. Actually, I don't know the gender of the person who wrote this either, and I don't want to be homophobic by assuming it's a man. I am going to just say it's a man because we named him Steve, but it could be a woman as well. So yeah, I don't know what you could do. I think it's too late. I think you've missed your shot. When's the next party you can go to where you can sit outside with her and have another smooch? Tricky. just leave it in the drunk mistake category. I think it's time to move on. If you can move on, move on. If you focus too much on this, you're just going to be hurting, I think. All right. Next one. We've got two more. Okay, this one's good. Okay. Dear Advice City. Okay. Oh, no, this person knows the show is over. Dear Advice City. R.I.P. Loved that show. That's nice. We didn't give this person a name. Let's call them... I can't think of any other naturalists. Jacques Cousteau. Let's call him Jacques Cousteau. Dear Advice City, RIP, I love that show. I just started a new job a few months ago. It's a fairly decent gig, admin work in a mid-sized company. It's nothing glamorous, but I like the structure and I like the people. Well, most of them. Nice setup there. This is good storytelling. My boss is very social, in italics. She's only a few years older than me and keeps trying to be my bestie. I don't mean like work bestie. I mean actual oversharing, brunch texting, let's do matching Halloween costumes for the office besties. She invites me to drinks every Friday, messages me outside of work about her dating drama, and once sent me a TikTok about trauma bonding. I've met her dog and her cousin. That's so random. It's not that I don't like her, but I kind of need a boundary. I worry that if I decline too many invites, she'll get offended and things will be tense at work. She's very sensitive, but I also feel drained from consistently managing her feelings. I don't want to blur the line between personal and professional more than it already is. How do I create space without turning my workplace into a silent war zone? Love from Jacques. That is a tricky bicky, my friend. Look, yes, she shouldn't be making you uncomfortable. That's bad. And like, at the end of the day, she's your boss and she's making you uncomfortable. But there is something to be said for like, do you like this person? Can you be friends with them? You can just be friends with them. Like, if you can get over that boundary of work and personal, if you can deal with that, then you can. Like, it's fine. I don't think you should feel like you can't be friends with this person because of the implications at work. If you genuinely don't want to be friends with them, that's fine. But if the only thing stopping you is like, if I met you on the street randomly, we could be best friends, but because you're my boss, I don't want to do that. While that's valid, I think that it doesn't have to stop you. It's really your choice there. It does sound like maybe you don't want to be friends. You just don't like this person very much. You've called her sensitive and you managing her feelings. So yeah, I don't know. How do you ghost a boss? It's very hard because you see them at work every day. You like the job. I mean, maybe it's time to try to find a different job. You could try to get her fired. You could try to do that. Or even better, try to get her promoted away from you. That's good. Maybe you could bring... Here's a bit of an idea. When she invites you out for drinks on Friday, maybe you can suggest it's like a whole office kind of thing. Like it's an open invite for everyone at the office to come hang out. And that way she's not just like messaging you, she's messaging the whole team. It's hard. Like at my work, I'm a manager, I guess you could say that. So I have employees underneath me who I like view some of them as friends. And that, yeah, like I can see that line is very, very difficult it's very difficult to negotiate as the boss. I would imagine it's less difficult to negotiate as the employee because you kind of have the freedom to do whatever you want. But yeah, that's tricky. In my situation though, pretty much everyone I work with who I'm friends with, I knew before the job and was promoted up above them. So like maybe there's resentment there. I don't know. But yeah, look, that really is a tricky one. Sorry, I can't help more, Jacques. Let's do one more. Let's do one more and then we'll wrap up. This is a very catchy title. Murder Mystery Misfire. So, we need a name. Let's go with... Grizzly Adams. Let's do Grizzly Adams. Grizzly Adams writes, hey, so I committed murder. Social murder, that is. That's bad, dude. Don't write you committed murder in an email to me. That's absolutely going to be evidence if you murder someone. Adams writes, A friend of mine threw this elaborate murder mystery dinner party, the kind with printed character cards, candles, accents, costumes, the whole thing. That's something I would love to do. She was really excited about it and clearly put in a ton of effort. I was cast as, quote, the serial killer, which I didn't fully understand meant I was supposed to act normal and subtly drop clues until someone figured it out. Instead, during the second course, which was soup, I don't need to know that. That's fine. I made some joke like, well, I guess I did it. And then everyone sort of just froze. I thought it would be funny, but it was not funny. The energy of the night completely shifted. People tried to keep playing, but it was like watching a balloon slowly deflate. I apologize profusely, but now in the group chat, everyone keeps calling me the ruiner. That's so mean. And saying stuff like, just don't invite her to game night anymore. I can't tell if they're joking or if they're actually mad. I feel like I've been demoted socially and I'm not sure how to recover. Is this something I can just own and laugh about? Or do I need some grand gesture to win everyone back? Love from Grizzly Adams. The Ruiner. Imagine if you were known as in your friend group as the Ruiner. Just don't invite her to anything anymore. Someone said that to your face. That's crazy. You fucked up, bro. That's you. How do you not know how a murder mystery party works? That's crazy. My first thought was elaborate. It would be plan another mystery, right? Plan another dinner mystery. Put as much effort in. Do all the stuff. The cards, the candles, the accents, the costumes, the whole thing. Do all that. But here's the twist, right? Everyone is the serial killer. Every single one of them is a serial killer. So they're all fucking dropping hints at each other all night. How fun is that? Or there is no serial killer. Oh, that's even better. That's an even better social experiment, right? Is that like, who are you going to accuse? I think it was them because they looked at that person funny or they squeezed Mary's titty. I don't know why that came out of my mouth, but yeah, social. And then it's like, who are you going to accuse? And then they they get kicked out of the party during the soup. And then at the end of the night, it's like, you know what? This is like the Crucible. You're all having a witch hunt. There's no witches. Witches don't exist, okay? That's what I would recommend. Just to see what happens. No, that's crazy. You completely ruined the evening. That sucks. That really does suck. I don't know why. I mean, look, unless you do try something elaborate like running another party or trying to get the group to do it again and just don't make me the thing, I think you kind of just have to laugh it off. You know, like, there'll be a point where, okay, like, you know what, I did fuck up, but you guys are making it weirder than it was. Like, it's been 6 months, guys. Can we move on? I'm not the ruiner anymore. You could just say that. I don't know. But for at least a little bit, you're gonna have to just like take your lumps because I think you did goof and gaff. Well, I guess I did it. Why did you wait till the second course? And why did you tell me it was soup? All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for listening to Advice City 2.0. I do like doing this show every now and again, but of course, we'll be back to the animal content soon. I'll be in New Zealand for the next couple weeks. Hopefully get an episode out to you by the time I get back. I have a cool series I want to do about animals in warfare. So I'm going to try to start working on that while I can. But until then, folks, please stay safe. I love your faces. And as we've learned today, it's not really a jungle. We didn't do the animal thing, but it's a murder mystery party out there. No, it's still a jungle. That's fine. One other thing I wanted to say. God, that was loud. Sorry, sorry. One other thing, I did ask everyone recently in the last episode to go and rate the show on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you to the people who did it. Like, I definitely got more, but the rating hasn't gone up. So, if you wouldn't mind, feel free to jump in there and give this a 5-star review on Spotify or wherever you listen to it. And as always, the comments. I just realized we haven't read the comments for a while. No one commented on the last episode. Oh, Jack says yummy episode. Extra yummy episode, as always. That was on the Canadian dog attacks. Thank you, Jack. Jack's a member of the Patreon. I'm pretty sure that's the Jack I'm thinking of. Which reminds me, you can go over to the Patreon and support the show there for as little as the cost of several cups of coffee. You can help me pay bills. How fun is that? Yeah, we do some stuff. I'm going to record a Metazua after this as well. So Patreon's great and helps me do my thing. All right, that's going to do it. Enough waffling. Thank you so much. See you next time. I already said the thing. Goodbye. Goodbye. Wait, I didn't time it properly. Wait for it. Wait. And then I say, see you next time. There you go. The music swells. The show ends. Penis.